Hi there, and welcome to Decoded, where we make complex topics easy to digest. I'm Kirsten Lake.
My name is Loza Jamase, and let's get decoded.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about social media.
You know, that's probably grabbing the attention right now. Yeah, let's talk about that. How does tech go into social media? May I add, Kirsten?
Okay, so I think the first thing that we need to kind of break down here, right?
Yeah.
Is I think what social media has turned into today is, sure,
Yeah,
it's turned into a bit of a monster. I'm not going to lie.
That's correct.
Yeah, because what happened is these programmers have created these algorithms.
Yes.
And these algorithms are actually, like, dare I say,
Yes.
similar to being in a toxic relationship.
100%.
Because
Yeah.
while you're scrolling, it's like you don't know when you're going to get a funny video.
That's
and then
correct.
once you hit that funny video,
Yes.
your brain lights up like a Christmas tree.
That's correct.
And then you keep scrolling. And what happens is it causes, on a neurological level,
Yes.
this kind of dependency to it because it's not always constant.
Exactly.
You
It's
don't
not.
get this constant dopamine hit. So you actually have to work for it.
Oh.
And
Is
that's the thing. So they actually intentionally make these algorithms
Yes.
in a fashion that you almost can't escape from.
Yes.
And
yes.
it keeps you in that scrolling like cycle. And there's a reason why they call it doom scrolling.
Okay, doom scrolling. Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
that's how the algorithm's built. So,
Yeah. So the algorithm has, like, it started off just trying to, give you kind of pictures of your friends and things like
yeah,
that.
personalized experience.
Yes, a
essentially,
personalized
yeah.
experience. It was just pictures of, your family and friends, like Tumblr,
Yes.
Facebook,
Right.
and you could actually see that kind of stuff.
That's correct.
Now, because these platforms have been monetized, what
Yes.
ends up happening is that whoever pays the highest amount, their content gets more prioritized.
Interesting.
And that's why, I don't know if you have noticed, but
Right.
on Instagram,
Yes,
in the past, you may have gotten a lot more interactions with your posts.
that's correct. You
But
would
now,
have.
now
Yes.
you hardly get any likes for the exact same thing.
That's correct.
And it's because your posts are not being seen by your followers. Because now what's happened is the
Interesting.
way that they've structured their algorithms is to keep you in a cycle of consume, consume, consume.
Right, right.
And it keeps you on things like Reels. You don't even
Yes.
scroll through your
Your
posts
posts.
anymore.
And I've actually noticed that I haven't scrolled in a while on my posts at all. And just to add on to that with algorithms, just to give the viewers just understanding of what that is, similar to what AI is, it's a pattern, right? And it's a data collection. So, for example, if I like pictures of a lion, right? The with the mane, I press like on that picture. That will collect that data that's assigned to my accounts and send it into a tree model saying, okay, Lwazi likes lions. Let me now start pushing content that's related to lions. So that's how the algorithm will work. So it's a pattern.
Yeah.
If I now like a Lamborghini, for example, it'll then say, okay, he likes lions and Lamborghinis. Let me push those types of content and so forth. And it's the whole inception of what the algorithm is. Like you said, like how its original intent was to promote personalized experience and also to push content relatability. Now, like what you mentioned, it's becoming monetized now. Monetized. And now, like you just mentioned to me, it reminded me, I don't even scroll through my posts. That's what.
It's to keep you consuming. But I'll even do you one more about these algorithms.
Okay.
It's not
Just lay it
just
on me.
likes. It's not just likes.
Comments?
So they actually record
Yeah.
how long you watch a video. So even if you don't like this thing and you don't comment on it,
Really?
if it keeps replaying, they log it that you like it. And even on some apps, I won't say which, but a very prominent app,
Right.
they actually got into a lot of trouble because what they were doing was accessing the audio of the phone and the video while you're watching the videos, and they were logging whether you were smiling or laughing.
I see.
So even if you didn't like it or comment on it,
Right.
it was actually logging the background noise of you. So if it could hear you laughing and you're
Yes.
replaying this thing and you're not even interacting with it, your
Yes.
feed would change.
Oh.
And that's the thing. That's why it's become. And I know so many people now who've actually just completely unsubscribed from social media because once you realize that as a normal person, it's
Right.
so difficult to beat this thing.
Yeah.
Because now also they're going to start incorporating AI into these algorithms.
That's correct.
So not only is it going to use the algorithms that have already gotten us so addicted,
Yes.
but the
They're gonna enhance
algorithms
it.
now, the way they've programmed it is going to actually do a form of unsupervised learning where it's going to find patterns in your social media behavior and try outsmart you so that you can use this more and more and more. So it's just encouraging the younger generations to just consume.
Consume on social media.
Yeah.
And that's actually not good because, again, and we're going to dive into that from a psychological perspective. Again, artificial intelligence is also, it's our brains. And that's what it's specifically actually designed for our brain. I mean, the algorithms, like what you were telling me now, if this current inception of the algorithm is already doing this as it is, and again, it's not even giving content or interactions with your people. It actually can suggest other people that you don't even follow or other videos that you don't even follow the accounts. It says no. And you should see at the bottom, sometimes it says, because you like this from that post back then, it'll give you a suggestion of one of their followers. It's a one large tree map over there.
Yeah.
And it's hectic on
and
that
this is
front.
why I relate it to a toxic relationship.
Right, yeah.
Because the thing is that it keeps you coming back.
Yes.
And it's because of that in your brain, because of that there's no pattern to how you're getting your dopamine.
Yes, there's no pattern.
So you're just constantly looking for the dopamine on this thing.
Yes.
And then it floods your brain sometimes it doesn't, which keeps you working for it. So we're kind of like the rats in a wheel.
Yes.
Where we keep like trying to chase the cheese.
Right.
And sometimes we get the cheese and sometimes we don't.
Yes.
You know? And there was even experiments that were done on this, on mice, where they tested the reward system in their brains. And they had one group of mice where they gave them rewards at predetermined intervals. So like every 5 minutes, they would give them a piece of cheese or whatever the case may be.
Right.
Those mice had less of an addictive behavior towards the cheese. They were chilled about it. They knew it was coming every 5 minutes.
Right.
So they weren't like as desperate for this cheese.
Yes. They weren't.
But then they had another group of mice that didn't get the cheese all the time. So it would come sometimes, and sometimes it would be 6 minutes, and it was completely sporadic how they were getting the cheese.
Okay.
These mice started displaying addictive behaviors towards the cheese and this greed for the cheese. They became obsessed with the area that the cheese was being given. Ooh. They would wait there all day because they didn't know when it was coming. And I hate to say it, but social media, and especially Reels and that video scroll format, we are the mice that's getting the sporadic cheese. And I think this is why you've actually seen a lot more people that are just completely unsubscribing from the experience.
Yes. And look, and then this kind of thing does affects, like from a real life perspective, because social media, you'll be comfortable in that realm, but now coming to the real world, you don't know how to interact. Because remember, I don't know, you said it's dopamine, and I don't know how it'll affect your ability to actually interact with people. Like maybe if you can step us through that.
So that's also the thing is now what we've seen, and this is very interesting, but a lot of companies are coming out and they're saying they don't want to hire Gen Zs.
I've heard about that. We've heard about that. What's the case on that?
So it's essentially because, you know, their brains are almost saturated with this dopamine the whole time. This addiction to the phone is very real.
Oh, it's real.
But not only that, there's a lot of other reasons why as well. And I think it's got many layers to it.
Yes.
Why?
Flat,
but I do think the phones is a serious thing. I mean, even for me, if I walk through the workplace, I can see like people they can't be away from their phone.
Yeah, they can't.
And I even find for myself, so personally for me. Right. And I don't know if this will help anybody else, right? But I like to be on social media so that my loved ones can find me because there are benefits to it.
Yes.
You know, that connection and everything.
That's correct.
But I don't need that user experience being so
flooded.
Like it's neat. It's honestly so good, the user
Right.
experience on any social media app.
No, very, very.
So what I
much.
do is I delete the app,
Right.
and then I go onto Safari and I have to use the URL. Now, when you go through the internet browser on your phone to go through social media, there's major problems. Like, for example, when you're scrolling the reels, there's loading problems. It doesn't allow you to see
Interesting.
comments. And
Yeah.
because the user experience isn't as seamless,
Yeah, it's not
it
seamless.
breaks that pattern in my brain.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense because you don't want to be captured into that.
Into that mouse
cycle.
wheel.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
and
algorithm,
having
yeah.
and having a terrible UI actually helps that.
It helps that, yeah. And you're right about that. Look,
Yeah.
there is plus sides to it. Let's be
Yeah.
honest. Yeah, I mean, it's great. I mean, let's take it like this, right? It's created quite a lot of content creators, right? Which, look, some of the content they actually produce is quite actually entertaining, if truth be told. And again, this is where now we probably need marketing people to interact with us. Why don't they recognize content creators as an actual formal occupation within corporate? Why would you say that?
It depends. It depends on the company. Because I've seen now there's quite a few of the big four that are actually incorporating like social media influencers, like a professional influencer for their company.
That's correct. Yes.
And I follow some of these people on LinkedIn, and I think it's a great idea. It's great marketing, and you're reaching the younger audience.
The younger audience, which is a key.
Yeah,
Because
so
remember,
you're
they're going
reaching
to
a
grow up.
younger workforce as well.
That's correct. The Gen Zs and the upcoming alphas and betas that's coming out.
Yeah.
And look, that's why I always say that's the pros to it. I mean, it's also created a whole new occupation. Remember, we were once called programmers. Now we're software engineers now.
Yeah.
Not so long ago. And luckily we're still there. But now there's a whole new market. I mean, that's actually being built from social media, where people can actually make money off of it. And it's quite a big thing with some of the social media apps that we have out. And
I mean, have you heard about now the deep fakes?
I've heard about that.
Yeah.
We're going to dive into that.
Yeah. Yeah. So essentially, and this is actually what I really want to talk about for everyone. I think people need to hear this.
Please, guys.
I think what's going to happen now with AI getting so good at video creation.
Ooh, have you seen that?
So what it can do now is take a picture of you, your face, anything, and it can create a whole video from one photo.
From one photo, yes.
That's already what we're seeing from models like DeepSeek.
That's correct.
OpenAI is close behind. But now if we think about this from a cybersecurity point of view.
Perspective. And so public relations as well.
Yeah, no, but if you imagine now, someone takes a photo of me and they make a video of me being kidnapped.
Yes.
And they send that to my parents. This is like a completely new avenue of cybercrime.
Yes.
Right? And essentially, I had this conversation with my family members.
Right.
And I really implore people to do the same thing. But with deep fakes on the rise and this kind of thing, to protect yourself and to protect your loved ones, I really recommend that you guys have a safe word. So something that you wouldn't use in normal conversation.
That's correct, yes.
So like maybe like a specific species of plant like hibiscus, for example. Don't use that one now because I've said it.
You said it, exactly.
but find something between your loved ones, and then if you ever get a video or you get, because also in replicating voices now, AI can replicate
I've seen some of
voices.
Those. It's crazy. You genuinely think it's like that actual person. I've seen those memes with some of the US presidents where they were playing, I think it was Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
They sound exactly like them. Even their personalities are exactly. Guys, be careful of that. It's look, we're talking to the cybersecurity team as well as. Do you think it will impact law governance?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, how does that? How do you make a law for that? Because obviously it's like copyright, but now we have to think about: can you copyright a human?
Can you?
Well, I don't think at this point in time, I don't think you can.
I don't think you can.
You know, so, and that's the thing is like we have to be so vigilant. And this is also the other thing with influencers now is that they don't have as much job security as they think they do.
That's the thing.
Because the thing is you can actually now create complete videos, complete dance routines, whatever it is on TikTok, and you can do it using a deep fake.
A deep fake.
And this person doesn't even exist, but they can get out your message.
Yes.
And we're actually seeing a rise of this on the video kind of platforms, where they've now got more deep fakes that are spreading a message or even generating content and that kind of thing. And
That's
then
correct.
the human behind it is getting monetized, but they're not
For not
having
doing
to show
anything.
their face,
Yes.
which I think is good, to be honest with you,
Yes,
because
again,
I feel
creates
like,
another economy.
well, the thing is like now you can kind of get your message across and
yes.
you can make yourself look or like seem however you want to seem on the internet.
That's correct. But now, Kirsten, this is where, and we'll talk to how that could benefit businesses in terms of preparation for the AI governance and security perspective. But now, social media, just to bring it back there now, this deepfake, right? It can actually cause kind of big issues. If I use my face and then I spread some controversial message on a particular matter. Remember, AI is also involved now. So we're incorporating AI. And now once they inject that into the actual algorithm, remember, I work at this company now. And if they go on the internet and say that's me, meanwhile, I'm not even there.
Yeah.
I'm not even aware this is happening. And then I'm getting my emails blown up saying, you've actually broke some of our policies to do termination.
Yeah.
These are now, and this is based off our social media because our faces are there.
Yeah, and that's the thing is we didn't actually see this coming when we started creating content all the way back then.
Yes, just 10 years ago. That's like
we didn't foresee that there's going to be these kind of risks. And you know, honestly, if I think about it, when I have children one day, I don't know if I will let them be on social media.
I'm also terrified because if it just takes one person, and this is where ethics come in now with AI, can use that model and spread absolutely fake everything about you. And now, in terms of public relations, how do you recover that? Because if they have your voice, they have your face. How do you know
what's what? And that's
real?
Where they're actually saying now that moving into the future, your data source is going to be the most important thing.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. We need to know who, but now
where does it come from? Do we trust the source?
Do we trust the source?
Yeah.
Now that's another. Let me throw a span into the works now. Who actually controls that?
Well, that's also the thing.
Yeah.
Because now we've seen in the past where government gets involved in social media and then they spread a narrative that's very specific to them.
That's correct.
So like we saw this with the elections with Donald Trump where he got completely removed from social media because of all these political reasons.
Yes, that's correct.
And now we're seeing that he's back and now Meta's actually now responded and they took away their policies on filtering free speech.
Yes.
Yeah, but the fact that the free speech wasn't always a given is interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, that there was things in place to filter people, which also would make everything you see on your feed completely biased in one direction.
Remember, actually, that feature was in there in the Meta platforms where even if it's a post, guys, from literally 2 years ago, when that algorithm was injected, because remember the algorithm, it scans and says, "Oh, wait, you said something offensive."
Yeah, and
it literally gives you a warning.
It doesn't even know the context.
Yeah, it doesn't. Some people's accounts were blocked.
Yeah.
Because of that, and they're like, no, it's not in that and some people made, again, because social media is now monetized, some people can lose their livelihoods. And that's what speaks to, remember what was happening with the whole ban in the United States of TikToks. The reason why they had to push it back is because of people's livelihoods. Like I said, it's created a whole economy for people, which is an alternative. But then it comes back to now, Gen Z, upcoming alpha and beta. How do we protect them?
Yeah.
From not only a business perspective, because they have to protect the employees and the company, but how do we actually protect us as a society?
Well, yeah. I mean, I even saw this one. It was a release of a new AI model or something like this. And there was a couple in the audience. And they had like a baby recently. And they just posted a picture of the baby on social media.
Yeah.
This company took the picture of the baby, they aged it up. So like and in the presentation without them knowing, this like child like did the full like metamorphosis from baby to like teenager. Yeah. And the only image of her was this baby. So I mean, even posting your baby
It's getting
is
scary
risky
It's
now
risky.
because they could now, you know, they can generate like a teenage version of that baby,
Yeah, that's
and then they
right.
can use that to create content. Now when that baby grows up and they look like that, then they've got like a whole thing that they have to protect themselves against. It's honestly, we need to start thinking about governance
this
in these
governance.
spaces.
And it's
Yeah.
not just from a company perspective, but even countries, they have to start now reviewing, like we have here in South Africa, the POPI Act. They have to start now amending that, because this is a big like cyber threat that
Yeah.
can come. And for businesses out there that are worrying now, okay, how do we prevent that? Have policies in check. Which if you don't have, which I can promise you most don't, start now having those conversations with, I mean, you can take us, for example, have those conversations so that we can actually help them guide and draft their policies
Yeah.
with the lawyers.
And this
So-
is the thing. This is where like your technical experts are now
Yes.
having to work closely with all different
Yes.
divisions now. It's almost since this boom of AI,
AI.
and the new tech.
Yes, that
it's
open
becoming
source,
so important to understand what these things are so you
Yes.
can help in different divisions. So
That's
you
correct.
can go and help lawyers, you can
Yes.
go and help doctors, you can go and actually sort of shape the way the governance moves in these spaces
That's
as
correct.
the tech is evolving.
As the tech evolves, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you do not want to be caught off guard here, because
Yeah.
what we've discussed is quite serious stuff. And
Yeah.
and now even social media now, they have to be careful.
Mm.
Every employee, I don't know, see now, this is where, how do you give free speech? See, it's that question of, okay, there's free speech, but now you need to think of these upcoming technologies that's going to come that could actually destroy not only your personal brand, but
Yeah.
like
Your life.
livelihoods and
Yeah.
life and reputation. And as you know, as us young professionals, as you grow older, reputation becomes gospel. Whatever you do or say, it will kind of define you.
Yeah.
Especially now that, are we still in the cancel culture? I don't think we are. Are we still?
I don't know, but I do feel like at any time anyone can get cancelled.
You can get canceled. Yeah, exactly. So these are
never
things-
know.
You never know. That's
Yeah.
the thing. So these are things that we encourage businesses to have start having those conversations with the lawyers. Start actually now involving the tech guys.
Yeah.
You have to involve them because they know these. We're the expert matters
Yeah.
in this. We know what we
What
know
policies you need to have, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if I have a nice lawyer sitting next to me saying, and I'll say, look, have this policy on social media consumption, AI prompting, ethical AI prompting, all of that. We have to, and again, sit down with the cybersecurity team to create these policies now. So I think, Kirsten, I think if we're saying to the businesses and society out there regarding social media, and of course this upcoming threat, talk to us, speak to us. We will sit down with you guys and help you guide through this fifth industrial revolution.
But also be careful out there.
Be careful out
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So I think that's all the time we have today.
Definitely. My name is Losi Shamase.
And I'm Kirsten Lake, and thanks for joining Decoded.
Yes, decoded we come.